all kinds of wrong way driving, cutting people off, and it's just really magnifying the danger here. As I said, we're in rush hour. You saw getting right off of the 110 freeway there. He's already had so many close calls. There's pedestrians out here, all kinds of people walking. He just cut this person off. I mean, if he continues this way, I mean, his luck is going to run out very quickly. So, you know, LAPD, it's tough to say. I mean, if this is a murder suspect, that it's very risky to back off and potentially give this person, any space to get out and run and potentially get away. But it is definitely dangerous for everyone involved here as well. So a really tough balancing act.
Jeez, what is that sound? Are you guys hearing that
Certainly,
too?
and as we creep up on the 4 o'clock hour, we know there is a lot of traffic out there, a lot of people just out coming home from work. As you mentioned, students getting out of school, and this person again
you guys are
on
hearing
the
that
wrong
too?
side of the road.
It's not me, right?
Westbound.
Yeah. And making another aggressive turn here. And Mike, you've heard some new
the
information?
hissy,
We're sitting here listening to the radio. They are in tracking mode, which is a highly unusual move for a homicide suspect.
Ooh, it's
and it
bad.
sounded like it was something that the airship wasn't.
Let me see if I can get it on
any
any other station, because that would be
because
fantastic.
if this guy gets out and gets a good distance on these cops, they're not directly behind him to be able to immediately take him into custody. Now, I would assume they went into tracking mode because of the high speeds, dangerous driving, and the fact that there are a lot of people, both cars and pedestrians, out on the road. But nonetheless, though, this is supposed to be a homicide suspect, and the airship keeping tight eyes on them.
So bad. Okay. Come on. No audio? Okay, shit. All right. No audio. No audio. Okay, this is bad. All right. San Pedro, okay. The audio's so bad over there, I don't know what to do. The video's better, the audio's worse. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch back. I'm sorry. God, this sucks. Okay. I'm just gonna turn the volume low.
Units are in the area. He now knows that, so we'll see if that adjusts his driving at all.
And I have to wonder if that swerving in the road was because there might have been
homicide suspect.
Perhaps a lot of times we'll see them swerve like that, but this driver certainly not slowing down. You see somebody running across the street there.
God, I'm just gonna brace every time. It's so bad.
But this driver is, still driving very recklessly. It's very dangerous for all the folks that don't even know that this pursuit's even happening. They don't see those lights. They don't hear the sirens right behind the car. So they aren't necessarily aware that it's coming up so quickly on the wrong side of the road. There's no warning for them. So this is certainly a rough situation, but it does appear, Des, that the driver is slowing down a little bit, or is that just my imagination?
Yeah, it's just kind of been all over the place here.
Yeah, they're having all kinds of problems. Okay, let me see what else I can do. This is unacceptable, right?
Back in pursuit, but
okay, we're getting.
I can tell, and I believe my pilot.
We're getting out of here. It's too bad. It's too fucked. Okay. No audio here, but we're doing our best. Okay. I'll look at the other news stations. It's all Clayton Kershaw news on every other station. Okay, anyway. There's a cop behind him now.
So they actually have 2 helicopters on this one now because they really...
This has got to be a no-fly zone. Okay, I feel like I've seen this movie before. Okay, here he comes. Play the audio in hidden tab? What does that mean? They're just full on blue screen over on the other station right now. They're not even ready. Okay, wow, he's going through his red light like just this guy must have slammed on his brakes just now. I don't know why they have no audio on this. Maybe they do on their YouTube. Like, nah, it's just no audio. Okay. This is the no-fly zone is brutal. All right, I didn't run the prediction. I'll run the prediction real quick. But I don't even know if we're going to see the end of it at this rate. My hair looks like I just woke up. I mean, I just took my hat off. I was out. But what's up, G20? I'm a little stressed here. Jerry, what's up? Everybody on YouTube, hit the like button. It's easy. It's free. You know the deal. Okay. They're so far away. I don't know why he keeps doing this. Like, this guy just slammed on his brakes. All these cars. Like, and the cops, all 5 of them, just keep trying. You know? Cops are like, fuck it, we'll do the same thing. I don't know. Apparently this guy killed somebody, or he's suspected of killing someone. I think it's important to put that qualifier on it, because maybe if you go to trial, it's likely that the guy did it, but in these situations, when we're relying on the news to tell us what the person's wanted for, it's not so clear. Oh, Nighty, welcome. Yeah, so this guy is really just, I don't know how he hasn't hit anybody. He's just really forcing his way through this. We don't have any audio because I don't know why, but the other station had audio. They've gone away from it now. They're still trying, but they had so many technical issues. So it'd be nice if another news station got on it, another one that had some helicopter and like some good audio. Instead, they're all talking about Clayton Kershaw retiring. So shout out to Clayton Kershaw. Oh, there comes a cop out there too. That is a green light. This is a green light, right? I mean, like, they just ran through a red light. Okay, so he's going down underneath the 110 freeway now. And it looks like he could get on the freeway, but he's going to. Okay. Jumping on the 110 freeway now by the San Pedro exit. Okay, whoa. I wish they could fly the helicopter closer. Maybe it's Clayton Kershaw. Or maybe it's someone who's really upset about Clayton Kershaw retiring. Wait, is he going to get off right here? Yo, this traffic jam is really bad. ABC, put it up. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Why can't I get their video to work right now? Come on. There it is. Oh, God, it's brutal, though. Come on. I might have to go to their YouTube or something, because this is not good.
You could tell just from the tactics here, they are being aggressive with it, and he is refusing to cooperate here. So they have dedicated at least 6 or 7 units. They are prepared to dedicate more. This is not one of those pursuits that they are likely to let go, just based on the traffic that we're hearing over the radio. And
how are we ever going to see the end of this?
It's really going to allow them to deploy more and eventually maybe even get CHP involved here. But again, this guy weaving through rush hour traffic, putting a little bit of distance now between him and that primary unit.
Yeah, bear with us because we just saw him go by the Century Boulevard exit.
Yeah, it's miles away,
That's
Lee.
often the way to get into LAX. So Air
Traffic
7 dealing
jam.
with some LAX
He's
restrictions.
going to the
but they're staying
airport.
on top of this pursuit.
Right?
There he is as he's weaving through traffic. Police are still behind him, Chris, but I've seen that they've given him a little space.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional, but the traffic just is not allowing them to follow that with that full pursuit package. They're having a little bit of trouble navigating it. A lot of last-minute weaving that we're seeing here. It almost looked for a second like he was going to get off the freeway, weaved all the way over to the express lanes, and now he's really jockeying in between this rush hour traffic here. So they are still within sight. They can
I'm amazed they're able to keep the camera on this guy right now. That is
as far as I can tell,
impressive.
trying to figure out if there's an airship overhead. Is there a helicopter? Okay, I'm being told there's actually 2 helicopters right overhead here. So they're going to let those helicopters follow at a safe distance if they can't keep up with them. But as you can see, just in this shot here, getting past the 105 freeway,
there's a lot more volume on the southbound
Yeah,
side.
Coco
That's why
Creamer's
he's
saying.
resorting to those express lanes. If he stays with the express lanes, you'll see all of those black and whites get over with him and probably catch up with him sooner rather than later. But that's going to allow him to speed up a little bit here. But they are trying to keep up with him. They don't want to put anybody else's life in danger, and they have the luxury of those helicopters now overhead, able to call out that location.
Okay.
Chris, we're
Mr.
just
Peggy
getting
Hill,
word
what's up?
that
I
the
wish this guy would
CHP is
turn
being
around and come back.
notified. So this is LAPD on his tail at this point?
Right, so what they'll likely do is inform CHP what they're dealing with on the 105 freeway.
Yeah, Tony, it's
CHP
crazy,
will
right?
track this with them. They will be ready to participate, ready to engage if LAPD asks for that assistance.
Little Toyota.
It appears at this juncture
It looked
that
like the
LAPD
front
is
of
gonna
it's
maintain
jacked up.
control of this pursuit, but these things can change pretty quickly depending on the circumstances. So that is, it's almost like a courtesy at this point to let CHP know, listen, this is what's coming down the 110 freeway. If this continues down all the way into another freeway, into another county,
Yaris,
yeah,
is
they
that
may
what
at
it
some
is?
point bring in the resources of California Highway Patrol. Right now, they're going to be letting those CHP units ahead of him know. And if
Okay,
they
we got
need
much better
any
view
help,
on it
maybe
right
blocking
now,
off
at
some
least.
of those entrance ramps or exit ramps, very difficult to
It's
do
going
in
over
rush hour
100.
traffic, but they can use CHP to help out with those things as well. So he's now back
It's
in the express
Mazda?
lanes, southbound on the 110 freeway.
Is it?
Right now, still
looks
an
like the
LAPD
Toyota
pursuit,
logo
two
to
airships
me.
overhead, about 7 units
But they
that
look
I
pretty
counted
similar,
behind him,
so.
but they have fallen back about a couple hundred yards here. There's that primary unit still with a clear visual of that suspect right there on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. The suspect doing about freeway speeds, maybe just over the speed
And
limit
yeah,
right now. We'll go
Charles
ahead
is
and
right.
throw
This
up our
traffic's not
real-time
gonna
speed
get
tracker
better.
as we push back in on that driver, and you'll let that
Hungry
calibrate
Jack,
just a
welcome.
second here. It's going to line up.
It's a Toyota? Yeah, I
Probably
think it's
doing
Toyota.
just under 100
It's like
miles
one of
per
those
hour,
Yaris
maybe
or
even
something like that.
closer to 90, I would say. He's probably not quite doing 110.
All right, we got a
but
much
he's
better
actually
view on
speeding
it
up,
now.
so maybe that is a little more accurate than I'm guessing.
It's
but
a
right
Corolla.
now, he does have
Okay.
that left lane to really push the pedal to the metal, and a little less volume, actually, as we get further towards Gardena.
Yeah, he's in a little compact Toyota, but it could really move, as you can see. And now the road is really opening up, but the police, LAPD, pretty close to him, right behind him. They
Hit
have
the like if you're
pretty
watching
large
on
engines.
YouTube
They
for
should
the
be able to get
few of you
pretty,
over there.
pretty close to him right now. And now it's just a matter of just seeing where he's going to go.
He's definitely flying past all the other cars on the freeway, which we believe are going 60,
pretty
65,
speedy,
80,
yeah.
70. He's blowing by them. So maybe you're right that he is going, close to 100 miles an hour. Thankfully, traffic is not very congested on in the direction that he's moving.
Yeah,
although
Arco, we
maybe I
hit
spoke
that
too
one.
soon.
We could
Here he
get
is
a
on the
bingo
shoulder,
here, theoretically.
avoiding a slowdown there. And
Damn,
this
look
is
at him
just
go.
so very
He's
dangerous.
on the shoulder, right?
Yeah, Giovanna, he's really speeding up now, using that left lane, actually on the shoulder now.
Yeah, he's on the
to
shoulder.
Really
The shoulder is
accelerate
where you're
past
gonna
all
get
of
your
this
tire all
traffic. Really
fucked up.
tenuous with all of these innocent motorists in play here. Really limits the options for LAPD, and now it does indeed look, as he crosses underneath the 405
Hey, Cold Light.
freeway, he is committing to the southbound 110, but they are now asking for California Highway Patrol to prepare to take it over. California Highway Patrol isn't quite
He's got his
ready just
hand
yet,
like in between
but they're going
the
to get ready. LAPD is
wheel.
prepared to hand this off. They're going to keep following it. They're going to stay behind him as long as they can, and then once CHP can get their pursuit package together, a pursuit package being a primary unit and a secondary unit and a backup unit at the very least, to be able to execute that felony stop once this vehicle comes to a complete stop, and hopefully this comes to a peaceful resolution. CHP will be prepared to bring
Oh,
the
he's on his
suspect
phone.
in custody, but until they're ready to take it over, LAPD is going to stay right behind them. So they're in the middle
We've
of
already
that
got like
transition
7 things
process
on the bingo
of
card.
handing it off to the
Should have a
California
contest
Highway
what
Patrol,
date? Oh, I
especially as
hope
he
it's
remains
not anytime
committed
soon.
to the 110 freeway. Now, if he gets off the freeway, that could invite other agencies
Yeah, I feel like he's
to
gonna get a
involved,
flat.
or if California Highway Patrol is ready, they will take it over. So it's really a handoff operation that is now underway here, and it complicates things when we see all of this traffic, considering the time of day and all of the other variables here, not to mention the intel that we may not be aware of, but certainly it appears law enforcement is well aware of the crime here and the danger of that suspect behind the wheel. If he is armed and dangerous, that will play into their decision making. It'll decide whether they, execute a pit maneuver.
You can't run on the. You can't run on the.
Are very pivotal, and those that
the
intel
shoulder
is
for
obviously
too long.
very informative. So we'll see
I've seen
how
this
LAPD
before.
plays it. But right now they are trying to hand this off to CHP.
He's armed.
Yeah,
they
a
don't.
moment ago,
They
you
don't
gave us
know
a pretty
that.
clear look inside that car, and in the beginning,
All right, we hit
was
15
very clear
minutes.
that he was honking his horn. That's
Good
why
job
his
to
hand
everyone who
was in the
said
middle
yes.
of his steering wheel. He was literally honking his horn as he was going by and warning people to get out of his way.
That's smart.
And
Honk your
then
horn.
a little bit
I've
after
seen people
that,
do
he
that
was
before.
on his cell phone. I don't see anybody else in the car right now, at least in the passenger side. It's very difficult to see in the back seat right now, but he is he is bent on getting away any way he can and really accelerating through this traffic.
He
New
really is driving
prediction.
recklessly, and you mentioned the cell phone. It looked to me at one point that he was actually texting with two hands. I saw the
Astros,
left
that's a
hand
good
move
point.
as if he was, fiddling with the phone. All of that driving very fast on that shoulder puts everyone else at risk.
Yeah, we caught a glimpse of that cell phone too. Obviously tinted windows there, but it does appear, as you mentioned, guys, that
Who
that
is he
passenger seat
texting?
is empty. Not clear if there's
G20
anybody else in the
says he's
back, but it
texting
does
chicks.
appear, in all likelihood, the suspect may be by himself here. But right now, he's got two hands on the wheel. We were able to take another peek through that front windshield there, but he does appear to be trying to communicate with somebody. He does have full control of the vehicle. He's navigating the traffic pretty well, albeit at extreme speeds at times, as he tries to get past some of this traffic. But a bulk of the volume is now behind us. And as we look further down towards the port of Los Angeles, as the 110 freeway takes us past Sepulveda here, he has a wide open 110 freeway to play with much milder traffic. But
Yeah,
eventually,
Cold
the
Light,
110
rarely
freeway,
do I
as
get a
you guys
follow
know,
up
will
on it,
come
unless
to
it's
an
like a
end here
really
pretty
crazy
shortly. He
chase.
has opportunities to get off. In fact, I think he's only got a couple more exits. Eventually, he will either end up on surface streets
Gabriel,
or potentially
me
over
too.
towards the Vincent Thomas Bridge if he continues towards the port here. But, we don't know where
My
this
chat
originated. We know the
stopped working
pursuit
again,
started in
didn't it?
Hollenbeck, but not clear whether he is heading towards a specific destination, where he resides. Any of those details right now still open question marks.
Yeah, or if he even knows where he's going at this point, if he even knows that the freeway is going to be coming to an end, which could create some
Here, kid,
complications.
they just
as
said
he
he's a murder
starts to
suspect. We
navigate
haven't gotten a
surface
lot of
streets.
detail. Good thing is
I'm sorry,
he's not in
David,
the
one more time. I
no-fly
lost
zone.
you just a
Like
second
they're
there.
not stuck
Yeah,
in
I
a
was
no-fly
just
zone anymore.
talking about where he might be going and assuming what his behavior is going to be once he starts having to negotiate these surface streets. But if he does get off this freeway, then does the transition still take place, as in the CHP, or maybe the LAPD just stays with it?
It's a great question, because now we're going to be in San Pedro, which is going to be in LAPD's jurisdiction. So they will have the chance here to maintain control of this pursuit, even if they hand it off to a different division. We have been in the city of LA this entire time, but the fact that he was on the freeway did prompt them to hand it off, or attempt to hand it off. What I'd like to do, when you have a chance, Josh, just want to peek over at that primary unit, that SUV behind him. I think that is still LAPD.
All right, Charles, do that.
I just
Get
want
us
to double
some
check. That is still
inside
LAPD
info, whatever.
right behind him. So what we know for sure is that handoff has not taken place yet. CHP still getting prepared, getting units in place, but it's not easy. They have to have the units available. Here he is getting off. He's going to cut somebody off. He's going to go over the gore point here, and he's going to get off at, let's
Terminal
see,
Island?
we'll get this exit here. It's at the Terminal Island exit, but he's now going to be on surface streets here momentarily as this ramp takes him
Okay, turn the
underneath the
overlay
110
off,
freeway.
please.
And eventually
Okay.
towards the
We got this
Vincent
on
Thomas
KTLA
Bridge. He is
too, and I
actually
kinda like
about
their
to get
angle,
on
and they're
the
not doing
Vincent
an
Thomas
overlay
Bridge.
right
If he
now.
doesn't
It's
take this
super
final
annoying.
exit here, which will be Harbor Boulevard, if he bypasses Harbor, he will end up on the bridge, and he will take us all
It's
the
really
way
low quality.
into
I'm
the
gonna switch
port.
this.
It looks like he's hugging that left lane, and if I'm not mistaken, he is now committed. He is now committed to...
Speeds of up to 100 miles.
No.
He is still gunning it. He is still gunning it right now. Just a very dangerous situation, especially as we approach rush hour traffic.
Look at this.
Oh.
Whoa. Whoa, no
Wrong
way.
Wrong way. Look at all the
Oh,
officers.
the
They're
cops,
trying
what
to
are you
get
gonna
back. Look at the
do?
trucks coming. He's going on an on-ramp. He's the wrong way here. This is going to be Harbor Boulevard he's going to exit on. And look at all the traffic here.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, he's got nowhere to go. Oh, that truck tried to stop him. Actually bumped into him, but he's going to continue.
We got
He's
a good
exiting
Samaritan.
Harbor. He's got a lot of cross traffic
Literally.
here.
Oh, all
boy,
right. He made it
northbound
back.
turn onto Harbor.
He made it back.
And that's going to be a bottleneck for the LAPD a little bit. They got through it, fortunately, but they had to follow. Here he comes northbound. He's going to go
If we
wrong
get a
side of the
spike
road
strip,
right
we're
now,
actually going to get a
and
bingo.
that's problematic for anyone
If
coming
there's a
the other way,
spike
'cause
strip,
it's
they're
just
not going
one
to
way
spike this
each way
guy.
here.
Oh,
But if they
goodness.
did,
Oh, this is incredibly dangerous, especially with all that port traffic right there. And we, of course, are approaching rush hour. Do we still have LAPD close behind him after he went the wrong way on those roads? Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, long line of officers there in trail, but he's definitely going double yellows down the road here. He's
damn,
got,
he's going fast. He's going
traffic
really
up
fast.
ahead.
This
He's
is
got
super
the light,
dangerous.
and he's going to
Okay.
follow those trucks. It looks like he's
Whoa,
going
this
to
is
make a
making me
right-hand
nervous.
turn, and this is going to be Pacific Avenue. And boy, desperate to get away, trying to go across the wrong side of the road there. He's got some open lanes here. You got LAPD Harbor Division officer there waiting, coming the other direction. But we do see a little bit of damage on the bumper there of the vehicle. Not sure.
It wasn't like that
if
before,
that
was
was
it?
caused by that truck that was trying to pin him in there. I believe it did.
So there was a
caused by
traffic collision
That
here.
pickup truck that tried to pin him in on the on-ramp. He was going the wrong way. Here he goes,
Oh,
wrong way in
goodness.
traffic. Oh, look at that, right against the truck. Oh, man.
Oof.
And he's going to go, oh, boy.
Wow, past
wow.
somebody
110
walking
freeway
by
north.
too.
Yeah,
This person,
pedestrians.
no regard
He's getting
for other
really
people's safety
lucky.
at this point. We've seen 100 miles per hour, John, as you mentioned. Now he's needling semi-trucks.
No.
As this person is driving
Okay.
back onto the 110 north.
Everybody's
Gil's
got
shot is
issues.
breaking up
Okay,
there. But again, this is somebody they
NBC's on
pulled
it too.
over. They suspect
we'll stay with
involved
this
in
for
a
now.
murder. And
Okay.
Gil, we have you back now.
If we're going to want to trust him here.
Yeah, this guy driving crazy here now. That he might think that he got away a little bit from the ground crews, but the airship's staying right overhead, and multiple units in trail of the driver, but they're still in
Eliana's
pursuit
on it too.
of the driver. We could see
I'm gonna stick with this. It
speeds
looks
of
really
reaching
good.
100 miles an hour. That bumper about to come off. That's going to be a piece of debris on the freeway for sure, but it's hanging in for now. I'm going to pull out to a wide shot to see if I can see the ground units. They were delayed.
There's
by all
nobody
that
behind
traffic
him
when
now.
he jumped onto the freeway. So
He
they'll
jumped
get
through
additional
so many
units
little
as well
things.
as California Highway Patrol now that he's back northbound on the 110 freeway.
Northbound on the 110 freeway are now again approaching speeds of 100 miles an hour. The bumper of that fleeing vehicle flapping in the wind there as this murder suspect tries to evade law enforcement. This all began in downtown LA earlier today, and as Gil just described, police tried to initiate a stop. The driver pulled over. It sounds like someone else may have jumped in that car, and off they went southbound on the 110. We
It
saw
only
him
looks
take
like there's
that
one person in the
exit
car.
going the wrong way.
I mean, on
into
what we saw in
traffic,
the other
on
in the
Harbor
other
Boulevard and
stations,
now
there was
back
only one person in
northbound
the front
on the
seat in the
110
front.
freeway. This is a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, Mac, of course.
Yeah, John and Sam, 110 freeway approaching Pacific Coast Highway
And
now.
welcome, by the way.
100 miles an hour, at times a little bit more. California Highway Patrol is in position to intercept this vehicle, so we should be seeing that shortly. Once CHP gets in it, LAPD will relinquish it to the CHP, but they'll stay
Black
in the
Honda
pursuit
Civic,
because
no,
it
it's
was
a
their,
Toyota
they were the ones that
Corolla.
were that initiated the pursuit, I should say.
Actually.
Yeah, CHP will take the lead on this. This is their territory after all, but the want, very serious, a murder suspect trying
This
to
is on
evade
basically every news station at
LAPD
this point.
earlier today. And good news, CHP, as Gil just described, in position to intercept this driver and what sounds like another passenger in the vehicle.
And we're approaching 5 o'clock.
If there's
It's
another passenger, they're in the
now.
back seat.
Traffic's going to start building. So this person is
Wacko,
going
welcome.
to start hitting more traffic. And as we
Gil
saw
has the
when we
info.
joined
If
in
he's
with you,
accurate, I don't
Gil,
even
this
know.
person was driving, as he's doing now.
We didn't hear the thing
in
about the other person
shoulder,
on
which
any
is
other
incredibly
station.
dangerous.
We didn't see anybody in
And
the car.
as traffic builds, I imagine that's what this driver might keep doing.
God, he's going fast on the shoulder.
Oh boy, hard on the brakes there for a minute. Heavy traffic, and we might have a stoppage on the freeway just up ahead here.
But he's not
going
gonna
to
stop.
What happens as the driver continues to ride in that center divider shoulder. Very dangerous.
Yeah,
for
I don't
anyone
think it's gonna
that's,
end
in that
well.
fast lane or
It's not
any
good.
lanes there because of the speed.
Not
that
good.
bumper's still hanging there. hanging on barely, but we should be seeing the CHP intercepted here in just a couple seconds.
Earlier we saw
This one
a
is
truck.
crazy.
It looked like maybe it was trying to stop this car and kind of pulled in front of it as it was going the opposite direction of traffic. But of course, law enforcement says don't get involved, don't try to be a hero in this situation. And
Everybody
stop
on
this
YouTube,
pursuit.
hit like,
They
hit the thumbs
obviously
up.
do not encourage.
There it was.
Oh,
Whoa.
spike strip.
There was a
Spike
spike strip.
Got him.
Yo, we're gonna have a
Indeed.
bingo right
Yep.
now.
They get
They
him.
got him.
We're gonna have a bingo right now.
Good work by CHP.
Yeah, it looked like they got him.
In the shoulder on the
CHP
110.
saying, it
If
is
you
a
ever
positive
wondered what
spike
it was
strip.
like to get a bingo, we just got one. There you go.
We'll see how far this Toyota can drive. Looks like not much further as the CHP used that spike
he gonna
strip on
give
the
up?
110
No, he's not
north
gonna
as
give
this
up.
driver
There you go,
continues
that's
to
the
weave
bingo.
around big rigs.
Okay, finally,
and now
been a
even
long
fire
time.
engine as it tries to evade law enforcement.
But nowhere to go, of
There
course.
you go, September
Without
18th.
any rubber on those tires.
The bingo.
Unclear if they got all of his tires, but certainly disabled his vehicle. He is certainly
Can
slowing
we get
down
this from
now.
any other angle where we can see the tires better?
Not going to have much more time on those wheels, especially
On
if
the
he's
other
already
station,
rolling
I
on
can
the
see it
rim
from another
after
angle,
that spike strip.
and it doesn't.
And you saw it right there.
I don't know, it looks
CHP
like the front
stopped
driver
traffic
one
on
doesn't
the
look very
110
good.
northbound. They had all the vehicles stopped. This guy's flying up towards them. No idea that they were ready to deploy that
NBC's
spike
ahead.
strip, but
They're ahead.
it
Surprised us too.
and it was effective. So
Yeah, that one
now
looks bad.
we've
That
just
one
gotta
looks
get
really
it
bad.
Black and white. Where is he exiting here? That is.
He's exiting Torrance.
Okay, I might
Torrance
switch
Boulevard
this one.
exit,
Oh, there goes. You
and,
lost a
the front
tire. That's on the
tire
bingo
the
card
driver's
too.
side
How
is
did we get
definitely
so many things on the bingo
flat
card?
and, starting to deteriorate.
So many
You
things.
can see he's got nowhere to go. He's going to squeeze through by the truck, by the white car. Fortunately, does not hit either. It doesn't look like. But there's LAPD now back into it. They have flat tires
Thanks,
on the two
MKRQ.
front, according
Good-
to the
good one.
airship overhead. And look at that.
He's
that,
rolling on a
that
rim
tire
right
is
there.
fading
Oh,
quickly.
this is getting
My
bad.
goodness.
Bad.
Sure is.
We saw that front tire roll off the vehicle just a short time ago as he was exiting the freeway. And look at that. The steel is just being torn up as he continues to roll.
I'll just
the
hide the
rim
bingo card at this
across
point.
that
We
pavement,
won.
but
We
this
dominated
driver
it. End of it.
doesn't have much more road to go as LAPD is right behind him after CHP deployed that spike strip northbound 110.
What's he gonna do
He's at
now?
Figueroa and Del Amo Boulevard.
He
in
lost the
Carson.
front tire.
We understand law enforcement right behind him, ready to go. If you're just joining us, this was a
Clindy,
suspected
yeah,
murder suspect, I should say, that was pulled over in South LA. And then at some point, a passenger got in the car or took over the car.
We don't know that for
and
sure.
a pursuit began. Here you
We
see
don't
this
know that
person
for sure.
getting
Okay,
into a
that
turn
is not
lane with an
information I've heard on
officer
any other
right
station.
behind the driver.
And
we'll see what
there's
happens
nobody
here
in the
as
front seat.
Car really
Okay?
can't go.
there's
that much
nobody in
further.
this
Yeah, he
seat.
can't really jump the curb without any rubber on that front
There's
driver's
something in
side
there,
tire.
but that's not a person.
So he is
There's something
borrowed
here,
time.
though, right?
on borrowed time.
What is this?
Speeds of 100 miles an hour.
I feel like we
earlier,
didn't
now
see
he's
that
going about
before.
20 miles per hour. Again,
We were looking inside this
a
vehicle
murder
for a lot of the
suspect
chase, and we did not. I don't remember
fleeing
that
from
white stuff.
LAPD, still running despite having two pop tires.
And the bumper hanging off the back.
Yeah.
This car is wrecked.
Gil, are you hearing anything about how they're going to approach the end of this or trying to bring this to an end?
Well, they could easily do a pit maneuver at this point, but because it's a
pit
murder
move would have
suspect, they
been
don't know if he's
another
armed or
bingo.
not. But at this point, I think they're just being patient to
Yeah,
see if the
Charles, I
driver
guess so. I
will
hope not.
come to his senses and realize that he's got a car that's about to absolutely fail on him, and maybe he'll just surrender. But at this point, being very stubborn,
I think my
continuing
chat
on a
quit
rim
again.
there in the front. And we did get a look at the driver when he made that turn northbound. It looked like he was on his cell phone, possibly texting,
Yeah, he was on his phone.
but he's about to go underneath the freeway here. It's the 405
No,
freeway.
KK, that's
and
not on
the
it.
airship's
That's
gonna
like
lose him.
rare
The
enough
grounding
that.
crews are there, so he's not going to be able to get out and run very far. He's going to go across to
He
the
could keep
north
running
side
for
of
a
the
while.
405 freeway, and he has some options there. He's going to continue though northbound on Main Street here, and he's going to continue at a very slow rate of speed, but still refusing to just pull it over.
And LAPD, we were talking about this a moment ago. Yes, they could, as Gil just described, that yes, they could do a pit maneuver. They could disable this vehicle once and for all. But because it's a murder suspect, they have to be extremely cautious just unclear.
I'm surprised they used
what
a
this
spike strip, but they
suspect
did.
is
That was
capable
really
of,
clever the way they did
given
it.
the fact that
They were hiding
believe him
behind
to
a
be
car
murder suspect.
and
so, LAPD
threw it out there. It was
keeping their
really
distance.
good. Like their
But
timing was good. Rarely
Sam
do you see
said
them pull it off that well.
This driver is on borrowed time. That car.
And no regard for the safety
could
of
pit him
others,
right now,
as
I
we
just
saw
don't
this
think they
person
will.
going in the opposite direction of traffic, getting
I don't think
on
they
and
want to be that
off
close to
ramp,
him when he stops.
driving 100 miles per hour, getting onto those off ramps, and needling through people, almost hitting a pedestrian at one point. So police have to be very careful since this person
Try
is
for a
acting
blackout
so
bingo. We
erratic,
can look at that at the
even
end.
as their
Maybe we got
car
it.
only has maybe 3 tires left on it.
Yeah. A very dangerous situation for
Let's
officers.
see how
and
many
the
we got
public,
at the
of
end.
course, but you can see at least 1,
Ness,
2,
welcome.
3
Ness, we got a bingo on this
black
chase.
and whites behind this murder suspect. Actually, a
Look at
lot
all those
more.
cops.
A lot more law enforcement.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Thanks
7.
for zooming out there.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Incredible that they were able to stay on this guy's tail
Yes.
as he drove into oncoming traffic as he was exiting the 110 South. Just an incredibly dangerous situation as he tried to evade police, but police stayed on this
Certainly,
vehicle.
Ness,
They
he
followed
killed
him
somebody.
into
Supposedly
oncoming
murder.
traffic.
Supposedly, they think he
Even
murdered
more
somebody.
incredible that
That was a really
no one
good
was
spike
injured. The right side of your screen, that is just from a few moments ago when
Okay.
CHP deployed the spike strip, which has all but disabled
These other
this
stations
vehicle,
have just different angles.
which is now just
and they're not
rolling
doing
along.
replays. So I'm going to
You
switch
can
us
see
to
the
somebody not
front
doing a replay.
driver's side tire there, or
Don't like the
rather
replay.
the
We'll switch to
rim
Eliana.
is all that is left after CHP effectively deployed
Now we're
that
in
spike
residential.
strip.
Will things change?
And
Officers are really going to want to be careful on this one, so they really don't want to do anything that will potentially agitate this guy. So they could try another spike strip. Now that he's somewhat predictable, he's staying
He's riding on
main,
at least
he's
one
going
rim.
northbound, and he's not really deviating from that. So at this point, officers really could go up ahead, set up another spike strip, perhaps get one of those other tires, and maybe that will finally bring things to an end. Of course, normally at these speeds and with a vehicle of this size, we would be talking about a pit maneuver.
30
all
minutes. Oh,
LAPD
yeah,
units
good call.
are pit trained, so they have that capability. But because this is a suspect who may potentially be
Gonna run
armed
the
with
45-minute
some sort of weapon, that is why at this point I have not heard LAPD authorize it. But of course, we'll continue to listen in and see if at any point that does become the next step. But for now, northbound on Main, going to be coming up to the 91 freeway here very soon.
We want to remind our viewers, we're coming up on 4:30 here in just a moment. This is a potential murder suspect that they are following in this car. It started with very unusual circumstances just before 4 o'clock. Ileana, you said there were 2 people in the car initially?
Yeah, and there may have been even more than that. But what we do know is that whoever was driving, they surrendered.
What?
LAPD Newton Division officers stopped this vehicle south of downtown.
What?
And the person driving stopped when he saw the lights and sirens, or she saw the lights and sirens behind them, and got out of the vehicle and surrendered. But the passenger jumped in the driver's seat and took off, and then jumped onto the 110 South. That led us all the way to where it comes to an end.
So we had
in
a
the San
passenger
Pedro
exits
area,
in
the
this
LA
one, too?
Harbor
I
area,
swear, like,
and then
every
he
bingo
U-turned, went
square.
back north, and then of course he did run over that spike strip. We saw it here live on the air, and that is why he lost that tire, and at some point obviously had that damage to the bumper as well, and that's really what has slowed things down. But that really doesn't take away from the fact that this is just extremely dangerous, because this person is wanted for a murder.
Yeah, Lee,
we
going
don't have
for
any
the blackout
information at this
bingo.
point as to when and where that took place, but we know that LAPD officers from the Newton Division spotted this car. They knew it had been connected to that murder in some way. They tried to pull it over. The driver stopped, gave up, but the passenger took off.
Yeah, and we now, again, watch that passenger now in the driver's seat, riding on 3 wheels here at this point, one of those being the rim there. Eliana, if I can, again, remind our viewers, we talk about the unusual circumstances of this particular chase here. This is the same driver who went up the wrong way on a ramp off the freeway onto oncoming traffic here. So, again, a very precarious situation here, for not only for the drivers, but for the other drivers as well as the LAPD in pursuit.
I just hid the
Absolutely, you
card.
could definitely sense his desperation
'Cause we
when
hit it.
the
Now
110
they're
freeway
showing
came to an
replays.
end, and then he
Okay,
jumped
okay,
on
okay,
the
yeah.
Vincent Thomas Bridge, then went the wrong
Come
way
on.
a few times,
All right, switching this
nearly
to
hit a
Fox.
pedestrian, and was just driving between vehicles that were coming right at him, and was somehow able to.
Matter. There we go. Yeah, it was a tire came off.
Yeah.
Right tire came off. So now
Another tire?
The car, instead of 2 tires, it's got instead of 4, it's got 2, and
Yeah, he lost another
that means
tire.
the back rim. I think it was a back tire that came off. So now you're going to have the left front and the right rear running on rims.
Well, the
which
thing
does
is,
nothing except ground into the
Yeah,
pavement.
Skier Kid, easy.
yeah, the thing is, Dennis, sometimes drivers can try to avoid that spike strip and kind of skirt around it. This one, they got straight on. That driver ran completely over that spike strip. So not a surprise that the back tires or other tires were affected besides that driver's side there. All right, so because of the danger, we're not considering necessarily a pit maneuver because you want to keep the officers back because we're dealing with a murder suspect. So you just kind of wait this one out. It goes until it goes, right?
All right, I kind of like
Well,
the
you see the
KTLA
speeds down
look
to
better
29
right
miles
now.
an hour, 28 miles an hour. No longer going to excessive speeds. So it's just a matter of time till the car gives out.
I think they do have one of the retired police officers.
He does not have much more road to go.
Gil, can you replay the beginning of this pursuit for us? I know you said that they pulled somebody over and then a passenger possibly jumped into the car.
So we believe it was a passenger from the car that took over and
in the driver's seat
and drove off.
So many different
yeah,
accounts
it's
throughout
either
this
that
chase
or
about
the-
like, well,
the
this
actual
happened, well,
driver
this
tried to
happened.
jump back in. It sounded like a passenger took control of the vehicle during that initial traffic stop and fled at that point. So I haven't heard yet if they have that driver, the initial driver, in custody, or if it actually was the driver that dove back into the car and took off. We're trying to get that confirmed at this point. But at any point, for what we know of the initial traffic stop, was that they did have it stopped. It sounded like it was over. It was completely stopped. They were making that felony stop. And what they normally do is they have the driver come out of the driver's side. They usually have them throw the keys out.
CBS
So
got
that's
off of
what's
it. Like
key in
their
this,
connection
is
was
that
so
if
bad,
the
they like
driver
literally
did not
stopped.
throw the keys out of the
We
vehicle,
started
that
on
passenger
CBS and
could
it was
easily
so
jump
bad.
in and take off in the car. So it sounds like one way or the other, those keys did not leave the vehicle, obviously, and so the pursuit was on
My
at that
chat
point.
is just
on
cooked.
surface streets for quite a while, and then ended up on the 110 southbound.
He's going really slow at this point.
Wow, a
This is rough.
complicated situation for officers beginning in downtown LA. This has been going on for about an hour now. We understand we jumped in and this person was driving in the shoulder of the 110 freeway going 100 miles per hour, just flying
If
past
you're hearing
traffic,
you're not following
weaving
or
in and
sub,
out of
do it.
cars
Do
to
it.
get on,
It's
then
easy.
back off the freeway, and then back on in the opposite direction. So this person has been driving erratically for quite some time now and is only slowed because of that spike strip on the 110 North.
Yeah, and just very
Hostiles, what's up? Yeah, this has been going on for almost
See
40 minutes on
Rosecrans
TV now, and this guy's
He's gonna
still
get hit, 'cause his
running
cars are
red
coming
lights,
fast.
and
Boy, he's lucky
the
he
car
didn't-
is like
he went
completely
slow.
disabled
Here's
at this
the
point, but
LAPD
he's
through
still
the
going.
intersection there, so that's always such a dangerous thing for drivers coming cross
Still has
traffic
control,
like that.
yeah.
They don't see it coming.
And thank goodness the car is disabled at this point, because this driver was going 90, 95, 100 miles per hour through streets like this, through busy intersections, nearly hitting somebody crossing the street. So in a way, thank goodness that
NC, welcome.
he or she, I guess, was only going 25 miles per hour.
This has been one of the craziest ones we've seen recently, and there's been a lot of crazy ones recently.
Slow speeds, we're looking at 20, 25 miles an hour here. I believe we have another intersection coming up here shortly. 135th Street will be the next major cross street. But you see LAPD there. They're just waiting this out. The driver's not able to.
There's been
maneuver that
7
car
of
very
them behind
fast,
him for
and
a
that's
while.
Good. But hopefully they'll either run out of gas or just come to a sense.
But yeah, he was going crazy fast.
Can you
He was
imagine
on the
they're
freeway
making their
driving
final
like
phone
100 on the
calls to
shoulder.
whomever
And
at
then
this
when he was
point.
on the
I
shoulder, they hit
understand
him with the spike
He or
strip.
she was on their phone when we were able to catch a slight glimpse through that windshield.
Testament
and this
to
person
Toyota,
is
for real.
just soaking in the last moments of freedom.
Yeah, not much time left for this driver as LAPD is.
So I
right
guess we're going to assume
behind
that
him.
this is the guy.
Looks like we're on South Main
that
Street.
was
Is that right?
suspected of murder, because the person who was
13th
originally driving the car supposedly
All right. Well,
got out
Gil, I wonder at what
and
point,
gave up, and then the passenger
does
continued.
police ever consider
so I'm
a
guessing the
barricade ahead
passenger
of
was
this
the one
driver,
who's
assuming they could get units in front
did
of
the
them,
crime.
or is that just not even an option
The main crime,
or a
anyway.
consideration?
Say Win, what's up?
Given that this is a murder suspect, possibly armed.
Yeah, because it's a murder suspect, they won't try to do anything like blocking him in or trying to set up a barricade up ahead of it. It's just too dangerous for the officers and too
Yeah,
dangerous
it's been a
for the
very
public.
long time since the
They're
bingo. I
content
mean,
at this point to just monitor him from a distance here and jump in there if he hits his brakes and tries to jump out and run. There's plenty
Maybe
of
a
officers
year.
here in the pursuit. They got the airship overhead. So I think
anyway,
they're
we made a
pretty
command
content
for
with
it
the
now,
fact
so
that this
anytime
guy
somebody
can't
asks, we're
really
going to
go any
know
faster, or
when
at least
the
is
last
not trying to
bingo
go
was.
any faster. If he does, that could be a change of tactics. They could try a pit maneuver if he's going faster, possibly, but I doubt it. Here's another intersection. This is going to be El Segundo and Main.
King Ed, welcome.
And he's through that one safely. So approaching now the 105 freeway and heading back towards the area where this initially started up near, well, at one point just south
First
of downtown
of 2025
LA. So
for sure.
We'll see what the driver decides to do once he gets to the 105 freeway. But jumping out and running or hiding is not an option for that driver at this point. The officers will pounce on him right away. But you never know what's going to come.
Yeah,
what do we
very
win? Well, Twitch took
unpredictable.
away that feature where you
can
can give people a
just
moment
see how
thing.
determined
So
this
I
driver
guess
is
you just
to evade law enforcement.
I don't know.
But they are not going anywhere. They are right behind him as he continues to essentially plod along on two
the
rims.
one we ran into
after
the Denny's.
CHP
Oh,
deployed
where the
that
cop
spike
drove
strip.
his car into
One,
a tree.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That
at least
one?
7 black and white units there who are right behind.
I never
this
used the
fleeing
moments
suspect
option
with the
until it's
airship
gone. Now I
overhead.
wish I had it.
And they are watching and waiting to see.
You don't know what you got
he's
till it's
going
gone.
to do. But at some point, this slow speed pursuit will come to an end because he just doesn't have any front tires.
Yeah, quite a contrast from what we saw when we jumped into this pursuit with you, Gil. 100 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic, and now just barely rolling along through LA. Now we're on about
Just hit the like
119th
button, thank you.
Street and Main
The
as
thumbs
this
up.
driver just crawls
Oh,
on
and it
forward.
even popped up on the screen. Hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a brilliant move by the CHP to block all lanes on the freeway, and you use the cars at the lead of that stop as a barrier there for them to hide behind.
Imagine
Get
if police
that
stop
spike
you on
strip
the
out. He was
freeway and
coming
they're
really fast
hiding
on
by
that
your
center
car to
divider
throw the
shoulder.
spike strip. You're going
And didn't
to see it
him
right
until the
there,
very
right?
last second.
They were
So
holding these
CHP
cars
doing an
up.
excellent job.
Imagine
They're
you're
very
the guy
risky
in
for
that
them,
front
but they
car.
deployed it very well.
I'd be
And
like,
as
I'm
you can
getting
see,
out of the car
successful.
before
So
you
that's
do
really made a
this.
change in this pursuit. Here he goes under the 105 freeway, and we may have an issue continuing to be directly overhead because he's going into the LAX airspace.
Not
here,
again.
So we may be limited as far as we can go north here as the 105 freeway.
Not
but we'll
again.
see
He
what
went
the
into a
driver
no-fly
decides to
zone and
do
came out
if
of it.
he
Now
tries
he's
to pull over
back.
or possibly tries to make it over to the 110 freeway.
Yeah. He'd be smart to pull over, but of course he's determined to get away. He doesn't have much more road left. He does not have 2 front tires, and police are right behind him. So as he approaches the LAX area here, we're going to keep an eye on it. As Gil was talking about, though, CHP did a brilliant job deploying the spike strips. The speed at which they were able to do that, stopping rush hour traffic on the northbound 110 freeway, setting up those spike strips, then deploying them. I mean, from the time that he exited the freeway, going into oncoming traffic, and then got back up
Replays over
onto
here
the
now.
northbound 110, was not a lot of time. And so that CHP was able to do that so quickly, just remarkable, and clearly very effective. At least for now, as this driver has gone from speeds of 100 miles an hour to
Yeah,
now
he's just getting further away.
rolling along at 20.
If he keeps going straight like this, they're gonna
There you saw a
be
pedestrian
really
pointing
far away.
at that car.
Into oncoming traffic. Yeah, he went into
imagine
oncoming
if you're
traffic
just
a lot,
walking
but he
along
did it
and
on
you
the
see this
freeway for
car
a minute.
come through, and
But he
then
managed to
6 or
get off
7
real quick.
officers right behind him.
Yeah.
You might want to, steer clear of the situation. But again, really remarkable work, as John was just noting, by our law enforcement. This person was unpredictable. You didn't know which way, even going into oncoming traffic, they were going. And to set up that spike strip, taking the chance that this driver would get back onto the 110 North, what a success. Even though we're down to 25 miles per hour and this person's still driving on rims 15 minutes later, still, what a success at slowing down a very dangerous pursuit.
Absolutely. And so it's still northbound on Main here, passing 107th. Driver may have picked up a little bit of speed here. It seems like he's driving a little bit faster. But yes, a lot of foot traffic out here. People watching the pursuit. They can hear it coming as I come out wide. You see
Was
the
that guy
pursuit
standing out
package
here to
there,
watch it?
Multiple vehicles in trail. And
We might have a
still
parade
making
going.
his way northbound here.
Yeah, those guys
Hopefully,
were. Are you kidding
we'll have
me?
to at some point go around.
We seriously
and
have
pick up the
another
pursuit if
thing
he
on the
gets all
bingo
way up
card?
back to the downtown LA area.
Yeah. We hope that he will pull over, or that police are able to stop him before
Jimmy
he
Opa, I think it's
enters a more densely populated
Corolla.
area, given how unpredictable and erratic he has been since this pursuit began. Looks like he is still west on 101st Street, but approaching traffic nonetheless.
Quants,
Look,
it happens.
There are pedestrians. They're pointing at this vehicle as it's fleeing.
Yeah, we got the
Some
parade.
of
Look
them
at all
with
these
their
people
cell phones
outside.
out there. But, he's got a crush of cops
Corolla,
behind him.
no
He's
surprise.
not
Those
gonna
Corolla
be able to
drivers.
get very far as he continues to roll along on two tires.
I wonder if we're going to be able to get very far in following this. I know,
OG,
Gil, you're
yo,
approaching LAX
this has been going on. It's
airspace,
been
which
really
is always
crazy. We actually had a
delicate
bingo on the
situation.
bingo card today.
And, maybe I'm not the only one who's curious about what case this is tied to. We understand this was a murder suspect who was initially pulled over. It's possible the passenger
Parade would have
jumped
been.
into
We
the
would have
driver's seat
like
and
3
took
bingos
off.
by this
It's
point.
also possible the driver jumped back into that seat and took off.
At
We
the end, we'll
understand that
pull
was
it back
the
up and
situation
see
that
how many we
happened
got.
in downtown LA before the 4 o'clock hour began. So I'm always just curious to know what case this is related to, and I wonder when we'll find out more information on why this person wants so desperately to get away from police.
We may just find out on the new KTLA Plus show, Caught on Camera, which chronicles these police chases. We have taken some of the biggest ones that Gil has covered from Sky 5.
I want to see that show.
And that we have covered, Sam, and of course all of our colleagues here at KTLA. We dig into the background. We find out, not only what the whole case was about, but chronicle the whole pursuit.
That sounds
which
really
sometimes
good.
Ends.
I wish I
in
could do that.
gunfire. Other times they surrender peacefully. But
Dimitri, we don't know anything about the murder.
Good plug, John.
If there even was one,
We've narrated a couple of those, and Gil, you're all over it.
Yeah.
If I pull up the
And you
bingo
guys do a
card
great job
again,
doing that.
we can
We're
see, but
basically
it's
holding
like
right over
I
the
can't really
105 freeway.
click
We
the things
cannot
because
get
we'll end up
into
with
that
another
airspace.
one.
We have airplanes coming into LAX from right screen to left screen, so we're either going to have to hold here and keep a watch of it, or pull off and go around to get to the north side of the airspace. But for now, we do have a good lens on our camera here, and we'll be able to monitor this as long as he stays northbound here on Main.
Sure.
And we won't be
Okay,
the
at
only
this
ones
point,
with
if we
that
redo
problem.
it, we
I
don't have
understand
the bingo
a
yet.
couple birds in the sky with you, Gil, and we're all just kind of watching to see what might happen to this driver, as now you and other pilots have to make a decision on how you're going to cover this and how we're going to continue to follow this pursuit as this driver enters
if he keeps
into
going
an
straight, we're having a
intersection
problem.
at a red light.
Yeah, continues to weave through traffic.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that grapple thing would work now that the
direction here with LAX clearance,
the
possibly to go north on the 110
bumper is in
freeway
the way.
to get
Yo,
on the north side of it.
Mio,
But for
welcome.
now, as long as he stays over or stays northbound here, we're good. At some point, though, we're going to have to do that transition, and we should be able to keep an eye on him as we transition up the 110 freeway north. If we have to
I guess you
transition out
could
to
call
the
that a
east,
civilian
it's Alameda,
interaction.
and that's
I don't know, I
gonna
was
be
calling it
quite a
good
distance.
Samaritan, but
So
I guess it's
for
always
now,
both.
we'll see what
I don't
happens
know.
for us, but the pursuit continues. He went on the wrong side of the road there. You saw him in that last intersection there. We got cars ahead of him. You got a guy with it looks like maybe a cell phone.
This
out
guy's
the
following
sunroof
him.
there. But
This
the
guy's
vehicle's
following
still
him.
continuing. He's got a couple of cars there that got in front, and we are getting a clearance right now to do the 110. So we'll try to
Let's go,
keep it going
Gil.
here for you.
And it looks like the white car is slowing down. If Gill's picture freezes there, we, of course, will come back to him as soon as we can. Gill has to reposition because this murder suspect is approaching LAX.
All right, we're back to Eliana.
Again, still keeping their distance with lights and sirens on. And we talked about, some of the different areas this driver has taken these officers here. And now we appear to be in, again, a residential area.
Would he get passenger exit? I don't think so, because
it appears
we didn't
that
see
the
it.
officers continue
But
to keep
apparently
the
that
distance,
happened
and
at some point.
We're in terms of speeds in single digits at this point.
I look at the time. It's 4:45, 4:45 here in the afternoon. Thank goodness there are not kids
90
walking
plus
home
as
from
well.
school. We've gone through enough residential areas that there have to be schools in the nearby vicinity, but we have seen a number of school buses driving through the shots out there, so kids are headed home. Do you see the folks on the sidewalk there, Michael?
Yeah, we talked
running
about
up there?
the number of folks who have been made aware of this chase, if not by
Yeah, it's a parade
television,
now.
if not by their smartphones, and of course then by the two airships above, along with the LAPD.
Gil is
here
going
behind with
over to
lights
try
and
to get a
sirens,
better
and
angle
some
on it,
people
which is
out with their
cool.
phones.
Eliana
Again,
doesn't
this
seem
is
to
an
be
age of social
moving.
media, and if you
Gil
don't
is
get it
going to
on
have a
social
better
media,
look at
then
it
didn't
soon.
happen.
All right,
But
we
he's
have
still trying to
our
get in
investigative
position.
reporter Eric Leonard
Oh,
on the
ABC has a
phone
better
with
view of
us.
it.
When
Hold
it comes
on.
to anything police and CHP or law enforcement, he knows all. Eric, talk to us a little bit about the problem with doing any kind of
Wild left turn with no tires, and he just randomly made a left turn on Florence. I should tell you.
I thought there was like that
we
big
may
white thing in the
actually lose
passenger
sight of
seat.
him
Now I don't
because
see it.
unfortunately, we were in the process of transitioning through LAX's airspace. The
You guys
control
remember
tower
that?
was nice enough to allow us to follow Main Street northbound along the 110 freeway, and we were able to catch up. And now, unfortunately, we're going to start pulling away from him here as he ventures back into the Bravo airspace towards the airport, and that's gonna
He
inhibit
just keeps
our
getting away
ability
from him.
here in just a second. Unfortunately, he made that turn. This is going to give us a real problem here. He's going to disappear behind these buildings. LAPD fortunately able to make that turn with him. We're listening to the radio to see if they have any luck, but a random turn there at the very last second, making a turn off of Main Street onto Florence.
He gonna come out here?
And getting closer
Yeah,
now
there he
to
is.
the 110 freeway. It looks like he's underneath the 110 freeway, underneath the Harbor Freeway.
I'm watching all the other stations, hoping they can get over there. Gil is way out of the.
Oh, look at this! Getting back on the freeway.
What?
He
No
might be getting
way.
back. He might be getting back on the freeway. That's not an entrance ramp, but it's going to. Yeah, that's this northbound Flower, which runs parallel to the 110
They're
freeway
all
here.
losing it right
but
now.
he will eventually run into a entrance ramp that will put him onto the freeway if he decides to take it. So look at him; he's coming up southbound on Florence, and now potentially. You have to wonder why he's making these turns. Is he deciding that maybe he's approaching the on-ramp here? So maybe this is just a game of cat and mouse for him at this point. I was going to say maybe he's got an idea of where he
I've
wants
been
to
live
go.
for almost
but it
an
almost
hour.
looks, you see the
So it's been
on-ramp
going
right
on
there
longer than
in
that
the
because
middle
the
of your
news
screen,
had to
and
get
it looks
there.
like he's
getting
going
on the freeway.
to take it. We will see here if LAX allows us to reverse course, because now we are
Good spot to pit. Yeah, they won't do
transitioned
it.
northbound. Now
He's
we
murder
are,
suspect. They don't usually
just
like
south
to
of
do
downtown
that.
LA, looking south.
They could have done
along
that
the
100
110
times by
freeway,
now, but
and
they're
once
not
again,
going
he's
to.
put himself in a position where he's in even thicker traffic. I mean, we're further into the rush hour than we were earlier, and you can see a much bigger backup on the southbound side of the 110 freeway. I presume he'll make his way over to those express lanes again, but he's not going to go very fast because we know that those wheels are giving out on him. Those rims are on borrowed time. It appeared that the rear tires were affected as well.
Look at this. Look at this. This truck is trying to get in the way, trying to get him to stop.
Another good Samaritan?
It appeared that way anyway.
He's going to get off.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, now it looks like he's decided to get off the freeway again. So now LAPD getting on that exit ramp, getting back onto Manchester Avenue. It certainly appears as though he's making this up as he goes along here. But now we are
Eliana's on the other side of it.
on Manchester Avenue, and we will see
better.
if he comes up through this intersection, decides to maybe either make a U-turn
The other
or
stations are just doing
continues
like replays
westbound.
because they
I do
can't
not
see
see
it right
him
now.
yet. He's going to be behind the tree right there, and it looks like he is making a turn. Making a now eastbound turn.
I'd love to know these
Eastbound
different
turn
turns and what's going to favor us seeing it.
On 84th, LAPD right behind him here. Now going underneath the freeway once again. And if the game of cat and mouse continues, he may very well get back on the freeway where he has been most comfortable during most of his pursuit.
There he is.
Actually looks like he's going to continue eastbound. So eastbound on 84th, I believe, coming up on Broadway. And almost looks, if you notice that, guys, it almost looks like he's able to pick up a little bit of speed there. The way he went through that intersection, he's going
he had a
through
green
a
light.
residential neighborhood now. LAPD right behind him.
Yeah, you
as
can
he
sort of see it on
continues
NBC, but it's like
on
it's the
84th.
same as here.
Hard
Like
to
you see it for a second,
from
and then
this
it's
view
gone.
now,
Actually,
but
it's better
you know,
over
we
there.
hear
I'm
from
gonna
law
switch us
enforcement
back.
officers that pursuit suspects will often return to the neighborhoods that they're most comfortable with, that they're most.
Okay, there he is.
Tried to get on the freeway
There he
ever
is.
since he lost that tire in that successful spike strip attempt, or successful spike strip
Yes,
on
not.
the
We saw
110 freeway.
one of those
and he had stayed on Main during
years ago.
the last
In
15, 20
Arizona, we
minutes
saw
or
it,
so,
but the LA
before
police
he,
don't have it.
made
And it
a,
wouldn't work in this one
westbound
anyway. He's
turn,
got his
went
bumper
to
in
the
the way.
110 freeway and then simply got on and got right back
Supposedly,
on.
I've heard
But
that
you
those
see the
grappler
officers
things are
still very
not as
close
effective
by,
as they look
currently
when you
in
see
the
it
area of
in
Main and
demonstration
Manchester, which is
videos
always
and stuff.
extremely difficult for us
Apparently, it's
because
not
of
that effective.
LAX's,
I don't think they'd use it in this one
airspace,
anyway,
rules,
for
but
the
you
same
can
reason
still
they
see
wouldn't
all of the
pit him.
units directly behind him as he continues northbound, crossing over 83rd, and that bumper still hanging on, and that tire still the only one that has been damaged.
Think they'll try to
during the
carjack?
chase.
I don't,
Ilya,
Gabriel,
give us
how's
an
he
idea
going
of
to do
any
that?
landmarks there.
Like,
If
the
people
cops are
not
right
familiar
behind
with the area. Anything that stands out that's close by?
The only thing I can mention,
The
folks,
grapplers are
that's
sketchy.
near here
I've heard
is,
that they're
the
not as
77th
good as they
Street
could
Division
be.
of the
Okay,
LAPD, so the
actually,
police station down here.
ABC has
Other
the
than
best
that, it is
angle on it
highly
right
residential
now.
and
Okay, we're gonna
commercial, but really
switch.
not too much in the way of landmarks
They got
that
it
most
coming
folks
towards
would
them.
know, other
So-
than, of course, the
We'll go to this.
Fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has actually been right along this stretch of Main Street twice already. So this might even be, the third time that he's driven through this neighborhood right along
Yeah,
Main
X
Street.
Booty. They won't do that. This guy's a murder
I was
suspect.
saying
They don't
earlier
want
that
to
sometimes
block him
pursuit
in,
suspects will
pit
return
move. They
to
don't want to
areas
do
that they're
anything that's
familiar
going
with,
to like
neighborhoods that they're familiar with. Maybe
put him
that's
in that
what
kind
we're
of position.
seeing here, and it's such a tricky tricky balancing act, really, for law enforcement. They have to obviously stay on top of
They've
this
had 7 right
suspect who's
behind him
wanted
for
murder.
longest
That's what we know. We don't have any details, but they also have to keep the public safe. So it's very difficult for them to balance the two. And time is on their side. They can continue following him at slow speeds for a while.
True.
Hopefully get him fatigued
Kenny,
to where
welcome.
he just grows tired of this and
Yeah, I
decides
mean, this
to give up.
time is on their side.
Yeah, at some point he will get tired, or the vehicle will run out of gas. One or the other, or another mechanical issue, considering the condition of the vehicle. The other obstacle that they are
it
working with, or
seems
the
like
other
kind of
factor, I should say,
impossible.
is that you have people in the neighborhood who
He gets
are
fatigued?
attempting occasionally to get involved here, and that really
They
complicates
did
things
say
at the end of the
that.
pursuit, because at
Out
some
of
point,
gas, too.
they're going to pull their weapon on the suspect to make sure that that he cooperates, and they don't
And that
wanna
does
have to
give
use
us
force.
another
In the
bingo.
event that there was a
Just doing
crossfire
this again, it
situation,
gives us another
they can't
bingo.
afford to have anybody else in their
Boom,
way
there
with
you go.
cell
That's
phone
what the
cameras
bingo. Oh, I have
waving the
it
suspect
hidden.
on.
You
So
guys wanna
now
see
he
it
has
if you haven't
made
seen it.
another turn here.
That's
from
what it looks
northbound
like
Main.
when we
He's
get
now
the
going
bingo.
eastbound on 71st Street. Still crawling along.
Anyway,
here,
I'll
doing
hide
about
it now. It's just
25,
pointless.
30
We got
miles
multiple
per
bingos.
hour,
We got almost everything.
as LAPD continues to make their way
And
eastbound
yeah, Toilet
with him
Brush is
here.
right.
He is just kind of taking them along for a joyride at this point, enjoying his final moments of freedom.
All right, and we will continue to watch this pursuit.
And yeah, there
Eventually,
could
if
be
we can get
somebody,
this to
like,
come to an
waiting
end,
for
it's
him, but-
important because this is a murder suspect.
Man, you have to be a fool
We
to
can't
want to pick up a
emphasize that
murder
enough. This is
suspect
a very important
during
pursuit
a
that's
chase.
going on
You
right
get
now.
yourself
Trying to
involved
get
in
this
some
guy off the
shit.
streets as he is barely moving along in a vehicle that has no tread. Oh, he's
turning once again.
Oh, he
taking another turn there, Chris, weaving his way
I'm just looking
through
at
this
all the
neighborhood.
stations trying to get us the best angle, and they
Yeah,
all
exactly.
appear to be in like the same spot right now.
And that poses a real danger too, because if you notice, these are narrow residential streets. So again, these are all factors that obviously LAPD has dealt with.
I mean, these
many
news
hundreds
stations
of
have done an
times. They're
excellent job
well-trained,
keeping eyes
but
on
it
it.
does
You guys
complicate
don't realize how
factors
far
nonetheless
away
when
they
you have
are.
these narrow
Like,
streets
really
in a
far away.
residential neighborhood. You know, that's why we
If
always
they
say
zoomed
we
out
would
right
much
now, you'd see
rather
that they are
see
just
a dangerous
incredibly
pursuit
far.
on the freeway as opposed to a narrow residential area, because we just don't know what the suspect is capable of, and we've already seen him making several desperate attempts, including putting the public at danger. Other motorists have been at risk during the course of this pursuit, even in head-on situations.
At one
He's already
point,
been
they
in a
were.
collision. They
He
have
was
all that
running through all the
information.
red
They
lights. I
know
mean, you just ran
that
through
he
one
is
there, but he was
desperate
going like
to get
80 miles
away.
an
Now
hour
going
through
through a
them.
red light here. He's going to be southbound on Avalon through 71st Street, and again continuing to zigzag through southeast Los Angeles here at
He's in the
about
hood
25
now.
miles per hour with an unknown amount of gas in the tank.
We're gonna hit 60 minutes.
That's a good point. That could go on for quite some time. I was leading to the fact that there is
This
a lot
guy's
of
been-
news
he's
going
had the
on
tires
today,
off
including
this
some
car for
weather
like
news
30
this afternoon.
minutes
Some
or something
severe
like
weather,
that.
especially in towards the desert and the Inland Empire, that we would love to get to eventually. We have another helicopter out in that area that is
They have
covering the
another
weather.
helicopter.
But of course, we want to see this come to a conclusion because this is a dangerous pursuit, and this suspect will not give up. Nevertheless, law
Tegan, what's
enforcement
up?
is taking it seriously, and they are content
All right, whoever
on,
said yes,
at least
all
so
the people
far,
who
Chris,
said yes.
to see this guy
Now we're gonna go
just
for the
meander
75
through the
minute
streets until he
prediction,
decides to
which
give
is
up.
rare. We don't usually end up with a 75 or 90 minute.
Yeah,
review.
and that has been the case, I would say, now for upwards of 30 to 40 minutes, where he has not had the luxury of really being able to accelerate. It's just kind of dragging that bumper along, riding the rims, grinding into the pavement.
Yeah, getting a
just trying to
blackout would be
weave through
really
some of the
difficult because we would need it to
Occasionally,
be
he'll go right
night
through the red
sun.
light,
We'd have
he'll
to have it
swerve
get
around
so
into
dark that the
oncoming
police
lanes like
have the
he is right
spotlight
here,
on.
getting right back on the right side here, and just taking these officers along for the ride.
Yeah, Phil, we've
But
been
the
on
fact
this
of the
one for
matter
so
is,
long now.
It is not a normal suspect behind the wheel. It is a murder suspect who is presumed,
Look at
or
all these
suspected,
people.
I should say, of taking the life of somebody. And so just the behavior that we've seen during this pursuit, the crime that has been committed here, the original one, the other crimes that are associated with him, it is a dangerous situation to say the least, and it's not over until it's over. They don't know what they're going to be dealing with
Yo,
when he
Saucy, thank
eventually
you for
comes to a
following.
stop.
Anybody who's
if
not
he's desperate
following, there's
enough,
got to be someone
you
who
know,
please
they will
follow.
be prepared for any situation, but it seems like a static situation when you cover these. What was a high-speed pursuit has now turned into a slow-speed pursuit, and what appears to be a static situation
It's been a slow-speed
could
pursuit for
change
a
on
long
dime
time.
once he eventually comes to
Other
a dead
news stations
stop.
are like
And so,
showing replays
like I
and
said,
stuff
it just
at this
isn't over
point.
till it's over, and when you see these people cheering him on, it gives you pause because you just don't know how
Who's
this is going to end.
outside
You see people
jobless
crossing the street here.
lollygag.
Some people keep completely unknown about the
That's
pursuit, but they hear the
hilarious.
lights and sirens coming through this part of South
That was
LA.
really funny
and
language to use,
just knowing who was behind
Red
the wheel
light,
here,
and he's
we know
trying to.
what
I mean,
they don't
dude, just
realize,
stop.
and it is a dangerous
Jeez.
person,
How
to
he
say
not
the
got
least.
hit?
At least he's stopping there at that intersection on a
He
very
sorta
busy
stopped.
street and
He
letting
still
some of the
ran the
traffic
red
go
light.
by and law enforcement patiently watching him. Obviously, you know, the ultimate scenario is for this to end peacefully no matter what, so they are willing to be patient
Soundless.
about it and
Who
let
knows?
that come to a
Right?
conclusion.
What is going on?
We are approaching Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock, and when we get to the 5 o'clock hour, we will show you some of the more
news.
dramatic moments within this pursuit, and you can see how dangerous
they're
it
going in a
was.
bad
By joining it right now,
angle
you
right
see
now.
it going at a very slow pace,
I'm
but
gonna
that is
switch us
for very specific
real
reasons.
quick.
If this guy had the ability, he would definitely try to get away as quickly as possible in a
They're
very
having
dangerous.
to go the other direction for whatever reason.
The driver.
Really incredible work by CHP to get that spike strip out when it was
That was really impressive
unpredictable
spike strip.
where
You
this
gotta hand
driver
it
was
to him.
going, and then to follow him as they were weaving in and out of traffic between semi-trucks
They're
in
going
front
over
of
to the side now,
pedestrians.
too.
Police stuck
I
on
might have to
this
switch
murder
this
suspect,
again.
as we understand is behind the wheel, or at least a passenger.
Yeah,
from
okay, Fox has a
murder
better
suspect,
angle on it right now. We'll just
a
keep
murder
switching
suspect's
if I have
vehicle.
to.
At least we know this car is tied to some sort of murder investigation, and that's why they're really not letting up on this, and also why they're being so cautious.
That's why you should watch a
in
chase with me. I'm
ending
gonna
this
switch
pursuit
when we
instead
need
of a
to.
pit maneuver or trying to trap this driver in between two officers.
Gil, it looks like you're trying to reposition your camera here. Can you tell us what you're seeing from your vantage point? Or are you having to move because of any airspace?
No, we're actually going to try to go south again down the 110 freeway here. In
They're
fact, we just got
all
the
trying to
clearance
get
do
around
so.
right now.
So we're
all
losing
of
the
them.
pursuit
So
for a few
we can
minutes
just
here.
stick with this one
but
for
I
now.
can
It
tell you
doesn't-
that
they all-
LAPD
they're all in the
certainly
same
is
place.
concerned about the vehicles that are trailing the pursuit. Those cars are running red lights in order to keep up with the pursuit. So it's unclear if it's someone just watching the pursuit or if it's someone trying to help the driver
Oh my God!
do this. But
yeah,
we
when it
still
goes on
know
for
that the
this long,
driver is
people want to get
southbound,
involved. They want to
and
get
heading
next
towards
to
the
it. They
105
want
freeway.
to get their video of it, or they want
98
to
and
help the
and
police,
Main
which
Street,
is
I
a
believe
terrible
they're on.
idea.
But he's
all kinds of
continuing-
stuff.
Actually just turned westbound on Century towards Main Street.
Well,
so
there's another
we should be
helicopter
seeing
over
it
here.
shortly here. And we'll try to
I'm just
coordinate that for you.
toggling through all of them
All
to
right.
see which one finds it
Gil,
first.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
we want to start the 5 o'clock news and thank John and Sam for their coverage in the 4 o'clock hour. As you know, we are following breaking news in South LA. LAPD officers are in pursuit of a murder suspect.
I'm Micah Ullman along with Cher Calvin, Gil Levis in Sky 5. Gil, this pursuit had for a time been very, very dangerous at very high speeds until officers with a very clever
Police
maneuver
and
were
non-police,
able to get a
Riga.
spike strip across a single
They could be
available lane
stringers,
on
too,
the
who
110
knows?
freeway, causing the two front tires to blow out and the tires eventually shredding to the point where they've fallen off completely. And the suspect is left with no choice but to move very slowly. That suspect has continued to do that on surface streets, obviously a lot less of a danger to the motoring public.
Because he's lost both front tires on the vehicle, and we should be seeing it here.
What's
just
more important
in a
than
short
a
time.
murder
It was
suspect?
very
Clayton
dangerous
Kershaw's
pursuit
retiring.
Going down the 110 freeway, speeds reaching over 100
Okay.
miles an hour, got into San Pedro, went the wrong
I mean,
way on an
NBC's showing
off-ramp,
replays.
or
I don't know if
on-ramp,
you guys
I
want to
should
see
say,
replays.
to
They're
the,
all showing
to the
replays besides
47,
this one.
And then,
I hate
was
replays,
able to
but
get back on the one traffic. He was in the center divider when that happened, and we're able to puncture the tires and disable the vehicle. So at this point, we're hustling down here to get south of the 105 freeway here, and we'll
because they have
continue
it.
the pursuit
It's over here. You can see it.
in
Please,
South
hold on. I gotta get out of here.
In fact,
Hold
now
on. Hold on.
towards
I gotta
the
get
105
out of
freeway.
here.
In fact,
Hold
now
on.
crossing Imperial Highway underneath
actually
the
better on
105
KTLA.
freeway and coming out the other side
Shit.
here.
Sorry.
Yeah, just south of the 105.
Okay, now what? What's going on over here?
With two tires blown out from a spike strip that the CHP was able to lay out, he is still making it on the rims through South LA here, and it's quite amazing that this car is still going, Micah.
Upgrade your
Yeah, it's
desktop. Oh
incredible.
my God.
That this car is still going, Micah.
Upgrade your
Yeah, it's
desktop. Oh
incredible.
my God! I just
that
upgraded
it
my
is,
internet
and I believe,
connections.
Gil,
Maybe that's
the,
not
the
helping.
mindset of this driver, with what we have seen, there frankly may be nothing to lose for this suspect. There frankly may be nothing to lose for this suspect. A last gasp of freedom, essentially, as the suspect, again, a murder suspect fleeing from law enforcement. And Gil, on surface.
Still moving, grinding away at the asphalt there, I don't know if you noticed when we reacquired the pursuit there, coming south on Avalon, LAPD tried to do a spike strip. The driver saw it because he's driving so slow.
Are we good now?
Saw it, went all the way across lanes on the wrong side of the road to avoid the spike strip. So that attempt was not successful. But LAPD at least trying to puncture the remaining two tires on this vehicle, and really cause that driver to have a hard time steering this vehicle. But two front tires are already gone. Bumper's dragging.
All right, I'm gonna restart.
And LAPD determined to make a stop on this